into superhero movies? Who's your favourite superhero? There's just so many of them these days. When I was a kid, there was basically three superheroes: Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, and there was only one version. Now there's so many. Batman, Dark Knight. How many people have played Batman over the years? Iron Man, Spider-Man, a whole lot of different Spider-Men, X-Men, X-Men First Class, Superman, Hulk, different Hulks, and even Daredevil. Again, when I was a kid, the way they portrayed the superheroes was pretty basic. They were moralistic, they spoke in monotones, they were into justice and truth and the American way and all that sort of stuff. But as the movies have borrowed more and more from the comics, either DC or Marvel, they start to paint a much more complicated picture of the superhero in the superhero genre of movies. Some would say it's more of a darker portrayal, some would say a more realistic portrayal of these people who battle with their own faults, who battle with the bad guys, who have their own flaws in their own ways, and sometimes not even that it was a successful movie, but they pitted Batman against Superman in one of the movies. And so it's as I said, I think a more realistic portrayal of what it is to be a struggle of someone who has so much power, so much potential, but so many character flaws as well. A similar story happens in the Bible, in the Old and the New Testament, as the writers there portray, some would say, a dark but sometimes a very realistic portrayal of what these people are like. They have incredible power, spiritual strength, physical strength, some of them. They're put up as heroes of faith. But they're also people who struggle with their own inconsistencies, their own sin, their own background story that helps them struggle. But despite all that, God still uses them for His good and for His glory. Now, I don't think for me anyone's going to write a story of my life or make a movie of my life, but if they did, I certainly wouldn't want certain episodes to be played because it makes me look bad. And I'm sure there's stories of these people in the Old and the New Testament where a similar thing would apply. If someone was writing their book, they might say, look, can you leave that part out? That doesn't portray me in a very good light. But here these heroes are, characters that are realistically portrayed, warts and all, that are lessons for us, warnings for us as we go through life, maybe sometimes not to make the same mistakes as them, not to ignore our faults as easily as some of them do, and to still realise that even with our faults, even with our inconsistencies, God can use us for His purposes in the world. We've called this series Messed Up, because some of their lives are exactly that, really messed up. But despite that, they're heroes of faith. We can learn from their stories, both good and bad. So over these next few weeks, join us as we look at some really significant characters and the lessons that we can learn from their messed up lives.